So first impressions of these six. So I've not painted Orks for years. Second edition maybe for Orks for me, a long time. So the treatment for the contrast paint themselves, I've not thinned them with any contrast mediums or that. I've taken them straight out of the bottle, as most people would if they're starting off painting in an army. And there's some interesting things. So the first one is Army Painter's Ork Skin, which is the speed paint from Army Painter, and I don't like it at all. So when you see that, hopefully you can see that there, it's just so powerful. There's nothing, in my opinion, contrast about that at all. It's just literally taken over everything. That there's no definition in the shadows. I think where there is, it's more from me as opposed to from the contrast paint itself. It's just not nice at all, and that to me, you might as well just use a bog standard green paint to then layer it, because you're starting from the same point. So really disappointed in that speed paint. Next up we had Vallejo's Express Color. So this one's Ork Skin. So this one, I quite like. So when you look at that, with having the yellow underneath as I did on top of the Ministerium, you've immediately got some highlights going on there, as well as some shadows. I quite like that. I think that's really quite nice as a starting point to then carry on with. So I'm really quite pleasantly surprised with that one. You'll find, I will just say it so nobody points out, there are mode marks on these Orks. I did them without changing my glasses because I've only built them literally for this test. I should have changed to the glasses I've got on at the moment so I can actually see detail properly on miniatures. So yeah, there's a few mode marks, but as I said, I've literally just built them for this test and not for anything else, these boys. So that was the second one. Third one we've got is Vallejo's Troll Green. So again, their Express Color Troll Green. This one is similar to the Ork Skin from Army Painter Speed Paint. It's really taken over quite a lot on the miniature. If you look at that, it's taken over, but not as badly. So if I compare that to the Army Painter one, let's just get some of the muscles up together. You know, we are seeing more. In fact, when I look at that next to each other, it's a lot better than the Army Painter one, in my opinion. You've got some highlights going on there, some different tones going on because of the yellow underneath. So actually, when I thought that was just as bad, when I look at it up close, it is better. So there is actually a bit of a starting point there. I've got to then, you know, carry on and put in a bit more depth to that skin. So okay, I'll go with that. Next up we had Ork Skin from Citadel, so contrast paint from Citadel. Make sure that's closed, and this is it here. So yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, I know some people talk about how thick this is as a contrast paint. That I've got something to work with there. There's a few highlights shown through, definitely some shadows going on. It's maybe run a bit thick into some of the muscles there, but that to me is a lot better to work with than Army Painter's one, certainly. Look at that side by side with the Vallejo one. Actually, I think the Vallejo one's better, looking at that. At distance, I actually thought the Citadel one I was happier with. I think the actual tone of the overall green I'm happier with on the Citadel. I think it's a nicer green than the green on from the Vallejo Express color. So I do think this green from Citadel is the best, and would be the one that if I was going to paint this way, I would probably go, I'm going to paint with that and then build up the colors from there. So Good Trooper Flesh, Citadel for the next one, and that's this one here, which again, a bit like the Vallejo Orks Skin Express color. I quite like that again as a starting point. It's given some nice colors going on there over the yellow undercoat, or the yellow dry brush I did. So to me, that's quite a pleasant color to get started with, to build upon. So yeah, quite happy with that. And then the final one was this one, Plague Bearer's Flesh from Citadel. Again, quite similar to the Gut Trooper and the Orks Skin by Vallejo. You've got some different colors going on there over the dry brushing. So again, you've got something to be going at, and to me the whole point of using a speed paint express color contrast paint is to give you a good starting point. And I really feel that the Army Painter Orks Skin one just hasn't done that at all. You know, to me, we would need to really dilute that down to get that to work as an Orks Skin colour as a starting point. It might as well just be a standard paint, I'll be honest with you. From my point of view, I would be quite happy building upon these on either the Vallejo Orks Skin, the Citadel Gut Trooper Flesh, or the Plague Bearer Flesh from Citadel as well. I think all of them have a decent starting point, probably from like a more of a true Ork perspective. I would go with the Gut Trooper Flesh or the Orks Skin by Vallejo. Both are nice, I'll be honest with you. They're both solid as far as I'm concerned. Lots of potential to build upon that to get some really nice looking Orks coming out from that. So yeah, quite happy with them. Then runner up would be, after those three, I'm torn between these. Citadel gets it with their Orks Skin, and then the Vallejo Tros green underneath that. But yeah, if it was me building an Ork army, I would go with The lighter three, probably between these two. So I would go either Vallejo Express Color Orks Skin or Citadel Ghost Repair Flesh from Contrast Paint as my sort of starting point on over a dry brush of Ministerium Grey and Euro Yellow or something similar to that, just to give you a few extra colours going off in there to make life easier for you, especially if you got a whole army to paint. As I said, I think both of them have good potential. My slight preference, personal preference, would be the Vallejo one there. I just think that edges it slightly. But let me know what you guys think.